Get Ripple, the bright new drink with that ring-a-ding flavor. Ripple.
What are you drinking?
You asked me mid-drink. I am drinking.
Something spicy.
It is a little spicy. I'm renaming it. I'm taking credit for it, even though I didn't make it. I just poured it out of a bottle. But I'm calling it the Yellow Brick Road.
Okay. Oh,
Hint,
Kansas.
But what it really is kind of like a pineapple jalapeno margarita. So it's tequila, pineapple juice, and a splash of like the pickled
jalapeno
juice. And it's delicious.
It's really good. It needs ice, more ice.
It does. We don't have any ice here. I thought there was ice here. It would have been way better with ice, but you know.
A little bit of salt would be good as well.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
It's pretty tasty.
Did you taste the beer I got you?
I did. It's really good.
So good, right? I went a little crazy at the, I don't know, the local Idaho drink station.
Liquor store?
It wasn't a liquor store though. It was like in an airport.
Oh.
It was just a whole bunch of alcohol in an airport. I guess a liquor store, airport. I don't know. But this is Laughing Dog Brewing Company, and it's Huckleberry Cream Ale, and it's brewed in Idaho, and that's where I just came back from.
Nice. We've got a strange combination of drinks going on, but I'm not mad about it.
Not at all. Yeah, Idaho is like super known for huckleberries, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some fun drinks. So for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be bringing some fun little beers.
Okay, well maybe I'll make the huckleberry cake that you gave me last time you went to Idaho that I still haven't made.
Oh, like a mix?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, I gave you a huckleberry cake?
It's a cake mix. I don't know. How long do cake mixes last? It's probably fine,
I'm
right?
sure it's fine.
It's fine.
It's not going to kill us.
So how was your trip?
It was good. I'm very happy to be home. I was ready to come home. Like when you're just like not in your routine and it's fun for the first little bit and then all you want to do is just be back.
No.
Really?
Honestly, no.
I'm not normally like that. I'm normally like I can stay on vacation for quite a while. But this one I had a great time. I had fun. I did fun stuff. I went to the hot springs and we did a ton of hiking and it was a beautiful time of year. I was just ready to come home.
Well, it was a pretty long trip. It was like over a week, right?
10 days.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that I would feel the same way, but having not gone on a vacation in over a year because of the whole 2020 situation, like it just sounds so nice.
It was.
It sounds so nice.
It was really
just
cool.
Go away for a while and not have to worry about work, not have to worry about any adulting, even though you had to adult while you were there.
I did. And I was still like doing work stuff.
Oh, no. No.
Still had my laptop. Eden was still doing school.
No. See, the last vacation that I took, which was like, 2019, I think, is when Monique and I drove to South Dakota. And my boss started emailing me literally as we were leaving. And she was like, no, put it away. No, you're done.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been good to do that. I did turn my phone off because I was getting a lot of phone calls. And I was like, no, I'm not calling anyone back. No work phone calls are happening. I did do some emails. I did some of that. And Eden had to do school every day because she was technically in session.
Oh, yeah.
So that was work for me because that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was fine, but it was fun. We had a really, really good time.
Oh, while you were gone, I had access to your house.
Yes, let's hear that story. You had full access to my house.
I had full access to your house.
You were responsible for my chickens.
Yeah.
And the bearded dragon.
Yes.
Can I tell you a story really quick before you tell me your story?
Sure.
The bearded dragon died today.
What?
Yeah.
Why? How?
I don't know. It didn't feel good yesterday. I could tell. And I was trying to find a vet that I could take it to. And then today it was dead.
And they don't, because it seems
seemed like a bearded dragon.
Fine.
Yeah. I don't know.
He ate all of his crickets.
I know. I don't know. Maybe he got a tummy ache. But Aiden was a little distraught when I was leaving.
Oh.
But we put him in a box and we're going to bury him in the yard and she's going to paint a little rock for him.
That's really sad.
So, but thanks for taking care of him.
Oh, God. Did I do something to the bearded dragon?
No, you did nothing to the bearded dragon. But do you want to tell me your story now? Because I think I know what are you going to talk about the Peloton?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Did you see how much I used your Peloton?
No, I don't have I don't see your account.
Okay.
I mean, I know that you can use it because you have your own account on my bike, but no, I didn't see how much you used it.
Oh, yeah.
So much?
Quite a bit, yeah.
See, it's fun, right?
Well, okay, but also I should have sent you a picture of my ass. Because
Sweaty?
No. Well, that too. But
Bruised?
that's not uncommon because my ass is always sweaty all the time. No, I have bruises on both cheeks.
Uh-huh. You build up a saddle butt. You build up
calluses on your ass. Is what you're telling me. Peloton calluses on your butt cheeks.
It's like a badge of honor. You do. I don't even feel it anymore.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But for the first, I don't know, couple of weeks, I had a bruised ass.
I just don't think I can get over it.
And I even commented on like one of my Peloton pages. I'm like, I'm allowing this Peloton seat to have more access to my ass than my husband.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
It
gets up close and uncomfortable.
Well, and now, because I moved, my bedroom has the full mirror closets.
Okay.
So before, I had limited view of what my ass looked like. I can now see giant, like they're more than just bruises. It's like marks on my ass.
You were slamming.
But yeah, I did lots of classes. I think I did
so
like
fun,
6.
right?
It is a lot of fun. It got a little bit easier because it was really, really hard for me at first. But I did quite a few classes because every time I went over there, I ate like 12 Smarties. Oh, by the way, I hid them from myself. Did you find them?
No.
Oh.
But how many of my chocolate peanut butter cups did you have from the freezer?
Oh, I didn't find those.
Oh, really? Because there were only 4 left, so somebody did.
Well, I wasn't the only one over there.
Okay. So tonight, I don't know if you know this, but tonight is a blood moon, a flower moon, and a full lunar eclipse all in the same night.
No. That was last night.
No?
The date says today.
No.
Yeah, it was 4 a.m.
So I missed it already?
Yeah.
I had crazy ass dreams last night.
Really?
Do you think that has anything to do with it?
Maybe.
I had crazy ass dreams.
I mean, that's where the term lunatic comes from.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. We're all controlled by the tides.
I agree. I mean, I believe. I do.
I could have said anything and you would have said that.
I might have.
Okay.
Yeah. I fully believe in that moon stuff.
Yeah, we should do an episode about it.
Let's do something with the moon. When is like another like cool moon thing happening?
I feel like it happens all the time.
Do you have anything to tell me?
There's a highway shooter.
There is a highway shooter.
I don't know why it's not bigger news.
Well, a little boy died.
6 years old.
Horrible.
On the 57.
Just because of some asshole with road rage and a gun.
Who's been doing this for like weeks now. Weeks.
Why isn't this known about?
I don't know. I mean, I've only heard it on local news. That's it.
I heard it on the radio.
Oh, you probably heard it the same place I heard it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're doing some really nice memorials for the family, but still. Like, come on. Some little innocent 6-year-old.
So, but like, it's just, I mean, that's probably one of the scariest things. That is like where nightmares are created because you're just driving. You're literally going to work and you have absolutely no control of somebody who could just put a bullet through your window.
And it's not necessarily a certain time of day or night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's not necessarily a certain road.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it's very, from what I'm hearing, from what little I'm hearing, it's very random.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know. Like, is it all Los Angeles?
As far as I know.
So weird.
And why? Like, what a pussy.
Very true.
On that happy note.
Yeah. Well, you want me to ruin some of your childhood?
No.
Okay, well, I don't really have a story for you tonight, but I do have a listener suggestion of a topic
Okay.
that we can cover. And it'll be pretty casual because I don't have like a bunch of stuff written out. It's kind of just like a list of things that will change the way you feel about this childhood memory.
I'm guessing it's The Wizard of Oz.
You got it.
Just based on the drink.
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
And Kansas.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess the movie took place in Kansas, the
Right.
book, but it was filmed in California.
Okay. In the Hollywood Universal lot.
In the Hollywood.
In the Hollywood.
It's MGM, so I don't know.
Okay. I have some friends that just did the Hollywood sign hike yesterday. Actually, they hiked the front of the sign and the back of the sign. I've never done that hike either.
Oh, I haven't hiked up there, but I went up there on horseback.
Oh, that's cool.
So, The Wizard of Oz. It was. Let me just give you a little synopsis in case you're living in a cave and you've never heard of The Wizard of Oz. But it was a 1939 film. So we're talking about the film. We're not necessarily talking about the book.
Oh, good, because I've never read the book.
Yeah, neither have I. I know a lot of people have. Like it's fairly popular, but I have never read the book. The film was considered to be one of the greatest films of all time, and The Wizard of Oz was adapted from The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which was the American children's novel.
It was written for well, I guess the movie was kind of for children as well.
Yeah.
But it's kind of scary.
Right. But it's interesting that you say that because the book was actually way scarier and more gruesome than the movie ever was.
When was the book written?
The book was written in like 1900-ish. I don't think I have the exact date, but it was like in the single digits of the 19s.
Okay. But I feel like that was how books were then. I mean, like we talked about Grimm's last time.
That's true.
And these horrible, like traumatic, scary death stories that they tell children.
Which I'm not sure how that makes them fall asleep.
No. It makes them cry.
I don't know. You just cry it out until you're just exhausted.
Maybe
and you
kids
fell
were
asleep.
just a lot tougher back then.
I guess
now
so.
They're all happily ever afters.
I would agree with that. So real quick, the synopsis of the movie. So it's about a young girl from Kansas, young farm girl. Dorothy and her pet dog Toto. And they enter the magical land of Oz after being swept away in a powerful tornado. So Dorothy and Toto meet many magical characters and seek help from the powerful Wizard of Oz to destroy the evil Wicked Witch of the West. Okay?
Got it.
But the book, however, and this will be probably the last time we talk about the book, it was much more graphic and violent and had a lot of killing in it. So at one point in the novel, the Wicked Witch of the West sends a pack of wolves to attack Dorothy and her fellow travelers. But the Tin Woodman.
Tin Woodman?
The Tin Woodman.
Wait.
That's what he was in the book.
Oh.
The Tin Man.
Okay. But I was thinking he was like the Tin Woodman. Like he was made of wood, but he was like the Tin Man.
Well, I think maybe in the book he was both. Maybe he was like tin and lumber together.
He wasn't just like a man of tin that cut down trees?
Well, I couldn't tell you. I think
Okay.
he had an axe. So
Well, he had an axe, yeah, in the movie.
Oh, he did? I don't remember that part.
I believe so.
Well, in the book, he uses that axe to slaughter the wolves.
Oh. Yeah, he didn't do that in the movie.
No, he didn't do that. And the Scarecrow also didn't gouge the eyes out of... Oh, no. Sorry. Let me roll back. The Scarecrow, who was attacked by wild crows that gouged his eyes out, he viciously stomped them and broke their necks with his straw hands.
He stomped the birds and...
Yeah. And that, I mean, they have a pretty high kill count in this book. The Cowardly Lion became an example of terrifying vigilante justice when he kills a giant spider that terrorized the other animals in the forest.
I feel like people would be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, the spider doesn't bother me quite as much.
I mean, I like spiders, but...
Well, a giant one that's like trying to kill you.
Well, probably not that one.
But the group's kill count topped over 100 animal deaths by the end of the novel.
PETA would not approve.
No. And in the book, there was also a scene that featured a tiger-bear hybrid.
Tiger bear.
Tiger bear.
A
Bear?
A bearer. Nope, can't do it.
Nope.
I can't. Not like Liger.
No. Yeah. So that's a little bit of the book, and you can kind of see how they veered away from that story when they created.
I can see why.
However, this beautiful Technicolor film that they made that was said to lift the spirits of Americans out of the Great Depression had its own deep, dark secret.
Tell me.
I'm going to tell you all of the secrets. Okay, so at the time, MGM was trying to compete with Disney's Snow White, which we've talked about before.
I hate that movie.
I do too, and I really loved The Wizard of Oz growing up.
I did too.
I watched that movie so many times.
I love it. I love how it goes from black and white to color.
Mm-hmm.
I love the color, like the horse changing colors. I like all the music. I love that movie.
Yeah, let me ruin it for you.
No.
Okay, so MGM spent over $2 million creating the Fantasyland that was the most expensive film for its time.
Yeah, that's a lot of money back then.
It was a lot of money back then.
I mean, it's a lot of money now,
I
but
think
it's a lot of money back then.
And some, I don't know, financial whatever statisticians people say that it's still relatively, like if you take into account inflation and everything, like one of the most expensive films made.
Well, there was a lot of people in that movie.
Yeah.
So they're having to pay all of those extras and the clothing and...
Yeah, and
I mean, that's a lot in itself.
Right. And then like all the special effects and everything.
Makeup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll talk a lot about the makeup. Okay, so first off, speaking of makeup, let's talk about Margaret Hamilton. Do you remember who she was?
The Wicked Witch?
You're right. She was the Wicked Witch of the West. And for her makeup, she had to be covered in green paint, which I didn't think was actually paint. I always thought she was wearing like gloves and a mask because it's thick. It is thick on her face.
I didn't really ever like think about her hands. I figured her face was makeup just because it moved so much.
Yeah.
I guess I never even really realized her hands were
also green.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all makeup, and it was actually made out of copper, and it was a toxic copper based makeup that they had to put on her daily. And when she had it on, she was told she couldn't eat. So they put it on at the beginning of the day. She could not eat all day because there was a risk of that copper getting it onto her food, and then she would eat it.
Wait, so they knew that it was toxic and they still used it?
Oh, yeah.
And they just said, don't eat.
Just don't eat. So she just had to drink all of her meals through straws. But at the same time, all of that copper was just like leaching into her skin.
Yeah.
So it was like so strong and potent that it actually stained her skin for a long time after they had wrapped filming. Like she just had this tainted green skin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, pretty bad. But that's not even the worst of it. So if you remember when she's leaving Munchkin Land, she has whatever her going away, I'll get you and your little dog too or whatever.
Okay.
And she swirls around and there's this big plume of like red smoke.
Oh,
and
sure.
fire.
Yeah.
Well, what was supposed to happen is there was like an elevator, like a drop underneath. So like the cloud goes up, the floor drops out from under her, she goes underneath the set, and then once the smoke clears and the fire's gone, she's disappeared.
Okay.
Right? Well, that didn't work out too well.
What?
So the door and the elevator malfunctioned.
Oh, awesome. Did they not check it ahead of time?
Well, the pyrotechnics still worked.
Oh, no.
So during that scene, she suffered from severe burns on her hands and face.
Oh, my God.
She had to be taken to the hospital. The other thing was, I guess they were so like concerned about filming that the studio didn't take her to the hospital. She had to like call for somebody to take her for medical attention.
That's not okay.
It took 6 weeks for her to recover from these severe burns.
Whoa.
And after she had say that word for me.
Recouped.
Recuperated.
Oh, recuperated.
recruit that word.
Got better.
She, after that, she like went back to the set and everything, and she refused to do any more pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
And at first she thought like, okay, maybe I'll sue. But she was afraid of suing because she knew that if she like spoke out, she would never work in the industry again.
She'd be totally blacklisted.
Yeah, for sure. But she did like, stay true to like not doing any more pyrotechnics. She's not going to get burned again. But they still had more scenes to film that involved pyrotechnics. And I guess, and I don't remember this, but she takes off on a broomstick at one point, and apparently it's a fire-powered broomstick.
Well, she goes and she like writes in the sky, "Surrender, Dorothy."
Really?
Remember that?
There's skywriting in that movie?
Yeah, she's a skywriter, and it's black. It's like soot.
Oh,
Skywriting. But I don't know if that involved pyrotechnics.
It probably did, and this is probably what they're referring to on this part, because they called in a stunt double, and that stunt double was Betty Danko. And I'm saying her name for a reason, because her broomstick exploded.
Shut up.
Her broomstick exploded, and it resulted in a 2-inch deep gash in her leg.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So the other OG or Wicked Witch was like, "See, I told you."
Yeah, but it sucks for Betty.
Well, yeah.
So that was a bummer. And then, even after all of the filming wrapped and she made her money and was a star and everything.
But she was still green.
Well, she was green for a bit. But apparently, like, hardcore fans, like, harassed her.
Why?
Because she's a Wicked Witch.
Oh.
Those kinds of fans.
That's not. Don't they know that it's just make-believe?
No, apparently not.
Oh, that sucks.
It does.
I mean, it's kind of funny.
It is.
But it kind of sucks.
All right. So next character I'm going to ruin for you. The Cowardly Lion.
Okay, he's like my favorite.
Oh, is he?
Oh, no.
I actually don't have a lot about him. But he was played by Bert Lahr. You familiar?
No.
Okay.
No clue.
Yeah, I'm bad at celebrities to begin with, and these ones are quite a bit older than our generation. But so the Cowardly Lion. What'd you think about his costume?
It was thick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Was it real animal?
It was a real lion.
No, it wasn't.
It was a real lion pelt.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
And it weighed over 90 pounds.
Whoa.
So
he had to dance in that?
He had to dance. He had to sing. He had to wear this like not breathable dead animal pelt, this lion skin. And because they're filming it in that like Technicolor whatever, like they had to use these super bright stage or set lights. Because they had to pick up like all of the colors. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it, but like bottom line is they had really bright lights on them that were super hot. They were like over 100 degrees.
And he's already in like a fur coat.
Yeah,
literally.
Exactly. So every night at the end of filming, they would have to like dry it because it was so drenched in sweat. And because he had like all of the prosthetic and everything all over his face, he couldn't eat.
Another one who couldn't. Are they just trying to make their cast real skinny?
Oh yeah, I'll get to that later. So he, like, for the first few months or whatever, he just drank milkshakes for lunch every day because they were filming for long, long hours. And eventually, after filming for over a year, he said, "Screw it. No, I'm eating lunch. Like, I don't care. You're just going to have to do my makeup over again." So
I wonder how he went to the bathroom.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Because, I mean, if he's drinking milkshakes, you would think those would go through him.
Well, I mean, maybe there is a zipper in the back. I don't know. It didn't say that he couldn't take it, like, off. It's just his face that they couldn't really take that on and off very easily.
I hate that was a real lion.
It was a real lion.
Gross.
And back in, I think it was 2008, they actually auctioned off the costume. You want to guess how much it went for?
In 2008? $200,000.
Oh, $3 million.
Shut up.
$3 million.
Why? Because
I
it
don't know.
was a
It's a wonderful
piece
Wizard of Oz.
history. Yeah.
I guess so.
All right.
I mean, people buy weird shit.
and do
really
what
weird
with
shit.
it? And who are these people?
I heard the other day that somebody, and I didn't see how much it was, but it was like a crazy amount of money, bought like 3 of Kurt Cobain's hairs. Did you hear about that?
That's really weird that you said that. This is how you know we're sisters, because I was just thinking about the auction of Kurt Cobain's sweater. Like right when you were saying that, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell her about Kurt Cobain's sweater."
What was it, like a certain? Was it
The
wasn't
one,
sweater
and
he
you know,
was-
oh no, not that sweater. From his MTV Unplugged.
Oh, okay.
You know, the
Yeah,
striped
yeah.
sweater,
Uh-huh.
like super famous.
Weird. Like,
So I
what
could kind of see that going for quite a bit, but not just 3 random hairs. What are they going to do? Try to like
clone him?
DNA him?
I don't know. Maybe it's a
Hmm.
possibility.
Okay.
Okay, so stage makeup, prosthetics, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to Ray Bolger's.
Gray, Gray.
Ray.
Oh, Ray. Uh-huh.
Ray. The Scarecrow.
Okay. I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
He's fun.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He was having a great time. Until he had deeply embedded marks on his skin that didn't disappear until years after.
Wait, what? From what?
Okay, so if you look closely, like at his face makeup, right, because he's a scarecrow, it's burlap. So he has this burlap like pressed onto his skin.
It's
and,
real
like,
burlap.
I assume so.
So they like glued it to him.
Yeah, and he couldn't sweat properly.
Oh,
And he was under
no.
those lights, and the burlap, you know, it's like those cross things.
Yeah.
I'll show you a picture of his face because it is like etched into his face.
What? Is this one of the only movies where there was such traumatic stuff done with makeup and costumes?
No, and I forgot to look this up because I remember when I was doing my research that I'm like, this keeps reminding me of James Bond because there was one of the Bond films.
Like the old Bonds?
Yeah, where I think it was the Bond girls were like painted with some sort of metallic paint.
The gold.
And they died.
Oh.
Didn't they? Or am I making that up right now? Did I just make that up?
I don't know. I've never seen James Bond.
Yeah, I haven't in a long time.
I've seen the gold member, Austin Powers, but I don't know the real.
That's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so I think there's other stuff. I just think that this was one that was like so iconic and had so many different types of weird things happen that that's why some people say it's like a cursed film.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet there's other movies because there's like movies. What? Oh, shoot. Now I'm going to want to look this up. What was it, like Poltergeist or something where like a bunch of the people died?
Mm-hmm. A ton.
Yeah.
That would be another fun one to do an episode about.
Just like weird cursed
movie.
films.
I mean, we kind of talked about like we released that, right?
What?
The Bruce Lee.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was the last episode or not.
I think so.
But yeah, I mean, the Lee family curse.
Yeah. So I don't know. This might be one of many, unfortunately. And like, honestly, considering some of the other things that happened, the Scarecrow didn't really have it that bad.
Oh.
That he had some.
Okay, then keep going.
Okay. So another thing about his costume, which it seems to be just about everything on the set was made out of, including the broomstick that exploded over
Flammable materials.
not flammable. In fact, it's actually very not flammable, and it's why they use it. Asbestos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they stuffed his costume full of asbestos, and yeah, like that was his whole deal going on. And this asbestos is actually what was used for snow over the poppy fields.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's raining down
Asbestos.
little fluffy asbestos all over the cast. It wasn't the first time that it was used. This is actually something that was like fairly common practice during the film industry at that time.
For snow.
For snow, because it didn't burn. It was just like super easy. And they don't know for sure. Nobody really knows if any of the cast of The Wizard of Oz suffered from like long-term
Asbestos poisoning.
Right. But they do suspect other like big time movie stars did ultimately like have chronic issues from that, including Steve McQueen.
Oh.
So some people think that like his death was due to long-term exposure to asbestos over like all these movies that he was on. So the Tin Man. On to the Tin Man.
Okay, so my least favorite character of Wizard of Oz.
Oh, poor Tin Man.
I know. I feel bad. He has no heart.
He had some of the worst
Oh.
issues. Okay, so the original Tin Man was not Jack Haley, who ended up portraying the Tin Man in the film. It was Buddy Epson, who is from Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either because, again, I'm really bad with names
Who
and
is he
celebrities.
in Beverly Hillbillies?
I don't know.
I don't even.
I'm
even
thinking
if you,
he's the brother, right?
Yeah.
Whatever his name was.
Who else?
Jed.
Oh,
Jed?
I wouldn't even. Or is that the dad?
Jed. I don't know. He was from Beverly Hillbillies. He got the part.
Okay.
He was originally cast to play the Tin Man, but 9 days into filming, he had a severe reaction to the aluminum powder makeup.
Oh.
So he actually, because it was powder, was inhaling aluminum, and it
Ooh.
eventually got to the point where it had coated his lungs. He had a bronchial reaction.
Just 9 days in?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's scary.
It was really bad. So he's breathing, but I mean, 9 days of breathing aluminum
Well,
dust.
yeah, but they filmed for a year, you said.
Mm-hmm. He was hospitalized for 2 weeks under a breathing tent, which I don't really know what that is, but it doesn't sound good.
No.
And then he had to recover for over a month at home. At this point, they just fired him and had
That's
somebody
not
else
fair.
take over his role. How much does that suck? Man, does that suck.
Oh. And then how just famous that movie became. And you're like, fuck, that was supposed to be me.
And
I bet he hated that movie. Hated it.
And I bet he heard it like all the time.
Oh, everywhere.
I bet the Over the Rainbow song is like the
epitome of.
Well, no, what's that song that was like played to death? The Shallow, Deep End, Lady Gaga song,
or the Titanic.
Yeah, My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah,
I bet he freaking heard. I bet he hates
everywhere.
rainbows. I bet he hates rainbows so bad. No, but he actually had a chronic like cough like for the rest of his life.
Oh, that's horrible. So the guy that took his place, did they change the paint?
They did. So they had this bright idea of like, hey, let's not apply it as a dust. Let's make it into a paste first so you don't freaking inhale aluminum into your lungs.
Why did they use this horrible copper and aluminum and asbestos? Did they not know better?
I don't know. I mean, this is probably the time where they like painted baby cribs with lead paint and put them in cages outside of skyscraper apartments.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
I don't know. Like cigarettes were a health.
True. Yeah, cigarettes were like, here, mama, pregnant lady, smoke this. Your baby will be smaller and it'll be an easier delivery.
Well, that's the same thing with beer too. Have a pint of Guinness every day. Your baby will be nice and small
and chill.
Oh man. So okay, Tin Man. Here's the other thing. Seeing that you brought up the music. So his vocals, Buddy Epstein's the one who got cut from the movie. Were still on the We're Off to See the Wizard because they had already filmed that and they recorded the song, so his voice is still in the movie, but he wasn't in the movie.
Oh, that sucks.
I hope he still got paid for that.
Some residuals.
Yeah. The other thing that really sucked about the costume, other than, toxic face paint, is that he couldn't sit down ever. Like when they're taking breaks and stuff, because he's literally like a cylinder in the middle.
Why can't they make costumes that come off?
He just had to wear a trash can the whole time around his body. And he had to lean up against walls to rest.
This does not sound like this is okay. None of this would have flown today.
None of it's okay.
Oh.
So much worse. Okay. Now let's go on to the really problematic character. I feel like we're just like just talking shit all over somebody's project. Like, we're just going back however many years ago it was and just bashing everything they did.
We still like the movie.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
Right. We're just, everything else sucked about it, apparently.
Okay.
What'd they do to the horse? Did they do anything to the horse?
Yes, and honestly, I think it's one of the worst things in the whole movie. And I'll explain to you why I think it's the worst thing once we get to that point.
No.
But just keep in mind, I think if you really think long and hard about what they did, it is awful and terrible.
Okay, just go. Just go on.
Okay. And maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I think it's pretty bad. But let's go on to Dorothy. Dorothy was originally...
Does anyone ever say her name Dorothy in that movie?
I don't know.
Or is it just Auntie M that says it, Dorothy?
I don't know. And what if they, like, the director was just, like, dead set on, like, no, you say it, Dorothy.
It's not Dorothy. It's Dorothy.
Dorothy. I don't know. But originally they wanted Shirley Temple for the part.
I did hear that.
Okay. And
would have been a big mistake.
And yeah, I agree. I don't think that would have gone over well. I wouldn't have liked it as
She's Annie.
much.
She's not Dorothy.
Yeah. So she was actually under contract with Fox.
Wait, no, she's not Annie.
She's not?
No, some little redheaded kid
Is that the same person?
No.
She's the little princess.
Yes. She's the little princess.
She's not Annie?
No,
That also has red curly hair?
No, that's some funky looking kid. If you go and look at the character Annie.
Wait, are you talking about like the modern day one or the old one?
The old original Annie with Daddy Warbucks. And
can we stop for a second and talk about how creepy that is?
That some super rich multi-billionaire adopted a single little girl and then married his hot secretary. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. What are you talking about?
It's so weird. Like, that whole story.
And that my favorite in that movie is Miss Hannigan. She's the drunk that just takes money for the orphans and makes them like work in a sweat lodge. Yeah, do you want me to keep going? Because I really like that movie too.
# goals.
Oh, wow.
All right. Should I tell you the most horrific part?
Keep going.
Okay. So here we go. I think I told you about... Oh, so Shirley Temple wasn't available because she was under contract with Fox, and she didn't really have the same vocal range either. So they instead cast Frances Ethel Gum.
Oh, no, that's not, no. Okay, no, I would have got that wrong.
Or would you have said Judy Garland?
That's the name I was looking for.
Yeah, because that was her stage name.
Oh.
Yeah. So her real name is Frances Ethel Gum, and she was in a...
I'm not normally for, like, stage names, but if your name is Frances Ethel Gum, Judy Garland has a much nicer ring to it.
It really does. It just rolls off the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So Judy Garland was 16 years old at the time. And
she was only 16?
She was only 16. So how old would you guess that her character was supposed to be?
I thought she was probably in her early 20s when she filmed it. And I thought maybe she was trying to play like a 15 or 16-year-old.
Okay. No, she was only 16 years old. She was supposed to play a 12-year-old.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. And that's exactly what a lot of the directors said too, because in order for her to fit the role, she was forced first to lose 15 pounds.
Okay, that's kind of Hollywood.
Yeah, it gets worse. And she was also forced to wear an extremely tight corset around her body, you know, where you wear corsets, to like flatten out her chest. And
her chest is still huge in that movie. Huge.
Right. And that is why they called her terrible names and said horrible things to her and referred to her as the fat little pig with pigtails.
Who did that?
The directors.
Assholes.
Oh, it gets worse.
That's horrible.
So while she was filming, she was forced to stay on a strict diet of chicken soup, so like broth pretty much, black coffee for the 16-year-old, and cigarettes.
I've heard that.
Cigarettes are not a food. That's not on the list for a diet. You can't have a diet of cigarettes. And she's 16.
Yeah.
And she's a singer.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that part of it.
Yeah, take all that into consideration. She wasn't eating. She had to wear a freaking corset. She had extreme, like, lights blaring down on her.
They're calling her fat.
Yeah. And she had to sing and dance.
Where's her mom?
Oh, I'll tell you about her mom. So first, let me tell you about the director, Victor Fleming. So during the scene,
I don't like him.
So where the cowardly lion enters, and he, like, I don't remember what he does, but he dances around and tries to scare them or whatever.
Oh, right, because he wants courage.
Right. So he enters the scene. She starts laughing, and they have to, like, cut. You got to film it again. Don't laugh. And she tries really hard, and she starts laughing again. And this goes on, like, multiple times.
It's funny.
It is.
It's this man
But it's
in a
expensive.
lion costume. Oh, because, yeah, they couldn't, like, just hit delete. Yeah, they were actually, like, making film.
Right. So Victor Fleming goes out there, grabs Dorothy, Judy Garland, and pulls her aside and slaps her across the face.
Whoa.
And he says to her, now get out there and work.
Oh, my God.
And
I would
then-
walk.
And then they filmed it, and they got the scene.
And she didn't laugh.
So apparently afterwards, he felt, like, really, really bad about
yeah.
it. But I don't know if this is true or not. But, like, the story goes that afterwards, he felt so terrible that he told, like, the rest of the cast, like, punch me in the face. I deserve it. And instead, Judy plants a kiss on his nose.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Mm-mm.
I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's something that his, like, people that do things for you.
Publicist?
That's the word.
Manager? Yeah.
Made up that story.
I don't know. I don't buy it. Sounds really weird. But you were asking about Judy Garland's mother. So she is the one who provided the amphetamine pep pills for her to help her lose weight and to stay alert and active throughout long, long days of filming.
But did they think that those were okay back then? Or did they know they were bad for you?
I don't know.
Because, like, I mean, the whole thing with, like, Mommy's Little Helper, you know, like, they prescribed that for moms that were, you know, needing an upper and a non-depressant. And, you know, they used to prescribe, like, cocaine and, you know, like.
Yeah, but I mean, according to her biography, like, she made it sound like it was not really in her best interest.
Okay. So,
I mean, she talks about in her biography how she and Mickey Rooney,
yeah,
they were both, like, because they're child actors, they were given pep pills, which were amphetamines that, like, made them work for, you know, hours and hours. She says 72 hours. I don't know if it was that long. 72 hours at a time. And then they would give them barbiturates that would allow them to sleep. So they would, like, okay, you need to nap for a while. We're, like, whatever, fixing a set. So go ahead and sleep for 4 hours. And then we're going to give you your pep pills. And then you're going to be wide awake and alert and ready to work again.
Because that's not bad for you.
Well, it's not like it kills you or anything.
Oh, wow.
Because that is ultimately what caused her death.
Okay, I was going to ask if she was still alive. I felt kind of stupid asking that.
Well, no, I don't think so at all. Because, like, I, for whatever reason, thought that she died in a car accident and was decapitated. Why do I think that?
Who's the one that died on the boat?
Oh, the one with all of the other actors.
With,
and, like, it was possibly a murder. And a lot of people think it was a murder.
With the dancing guy. This is, God, we're so bad
No,
with
I know
celebrity
who you mean.
names.
The guy with the weird face.
Yeah.
He's got the weird face and he's got the voice.
And he was in a science TV show?
I think he was on Click, too.
Walken? Christopher Walken.
Yes. He was there.
Yeah. He was on that boat.
Yeah.
Who's that girl?
I don't remember.
I thought that was Judy Garland.
No. That was another starlet.
We live in California. Like, minutes practically away from Hollywood. We should know this stuff.
Yeah, but I hate Hollywood.
Yeah, we don't, yeah.
Hollywood. Okay, there is a reason why when they show, like, if you're watching a TV show or something and it's like, oh, we're in Hollywood now, they have the cameras pointed upward at all of the palm trees.
Not at
and
the people.
not the streets that are filled with like human feces and hobo
Yeah.
tents and like people passed out on the sidewalk.
Natalie Wood.
Yes, Natalie Wood. Okay, so yes, that a lot of people actually attribute The Wizard of Oz to the death of Judy Garland. She died in 1969 at the age of 47.
Okay.
So, I mean, growing up in Hollywood, being a child star, even today,
Oh yeah, you don't
pretty rough.
make it out very easily.
Yeah, I mean, she was married like 5 times.
Do you know that I did hear that Lindsay Lohan is making a comeback?
I heard that too.
Yeah, good for her.
How did I hear it?
Probably on the same radio station I heard it on.
They said Lindsay Lohan was reviewing her lines and then she read over her script or something like that. I think I butchered that joke,
I got it though.
but it was like, yeah, you get the point.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Okay.
It's horrible.
So let's
As I sniff.
let's talk about some more horrible things. So the Munchkins.
Okay.
We know them. We love them. So the Munchkins, all of the actors and actresses that portrayed them, obviously they were like pretty specific characters to play. They couldn't just pull anybody off the street to play them.
Well, they had children playing their parts as well, right?
Oh, did they?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I've heard that.
Did these children get drunk and belligerent?
No,
as
but
well?
that's hilarious.
Okay, this sounds like a party to me. And a lot of these like articles that I read that like make it sound really dark, they're like, oh, the Munchkins were just belligerent and they were like drinking away their
Probably
paychecks.
just having fun.
I think they were having a blast. They were being put up in a hotel. They got like super lucky that they got to play this role. They just like probably answered some ad in a newspaper.
And it's not like they had to memorize a whole bunch of lines.
No, there's only a few that really had to like
The Lollipop
perform.
Guild.
Right,
And, yeah.
exactly. So the rest of it was just like a party. But unfortunately, their partying got a little too out of control because multiple Munchkins were arrested and had to be bailed out by MGM because they had to finish filming.
That's hilarious.
And they would come to the set still drunk.
They're like
and
rock star
hungover.
Munchkins.
I mean, it sounds like a blast. The only part where it gets a little iffy is that apparently they're a little inappropriate with Judy Garland.
Oh.
And a couple of them tried to slip their hand up her skirt.
Well, that's not cool.
No, not at all.
Poor Judy.
Yeah, she had a rough go at it. Okay. Now, the rest of my little story here is just kind of a list of some of the little, like, I don't know, factoids about fun facts.
Okay.
How did they color the horses?
They painted them.
With?
Paint.
No.
What else
This
do you
is
paint
where-
with?
Okay. This is where it gets dark, Griza. This is where it gets dark.
I don't want to know this. Okay, so also, they didn't do a very good job of finding horses that looked the same or were even the same breed or size. Because when that horse of many colors goes by, it is very obvious that
They're
it's
all different horses?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to say it.
Go.
The horses were painted with Jell-O. And they had to film it really quickly because the horses wanted to lick the Jell-O off of them.
That would make them cannibals.
That's why I said it's the darkest part.
Why? Why Jell-O? Why?
I don't know. I guess it had a lot of food coloring in it.
So
like,
get food coloring.
they painted the horses with Jell-O.
I mean, I will say, at least it wasn't toxic.
That's very true.
At least it wasn't like giving them breathing lung
They didn't
stuff.
have aluminum lungs, no.
But they pretty much had their cousin on their body.
And they were licking them off.
That's disgusting.
That's the most disturbing part. Okay, here's another thing. This is something that you mentioned last time, which is probably what triggered our listener stories. Not listener stories, listener suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
So Dorothy's slippers were originally silver,
Right.
but they changed them to ruby to kind of make them a little bit more like when they
Noticeable.
went right, because they're going from black and white to color. They want like that vibrant pop.
Got it.
Some of the Munchkins, and this is another thing too, some of them were paid less than Toto.
Oh.
Okay, tell me your thoughts on that. Because I might be a little controversial here.
I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings because Toto was a character throughout the movie.
Right.
He had a lot of screen time.
Yes.
He had a lot of tricks he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
If a Munchkin is just an extra in the background,
Right.
I have no problem with that.
See, that was my thought exactly, because a lot of articles were trying to make it sound like they were really mistreated. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, maybe, but I would think like the people, like you said, that are just in the background and they're just there to party, like they're only in one scene.
Yeah, I don't see a big deal with that.
Okay, oh, go ahead.
That's it. You get paid according to the job done.
Right.
Not according to I guess who you are if you're a big star. But no, yeah.
And that's another thing. So some of the characters were bigger stars. So Ray Bolger, who was the Scarecrow, and Jack Haley, the Tin Man, they earned about $3,000 a week because they were already known stars.
Okay.
Judy Garland only earned $500 a week.
Oh, that's bullshit.
But she didn't have a name yet. This is how she got her name.
Okay.
So I don't know. I bet there still would have been like a little bit of...
She had no previous...
No, she was like on a singing trio with her mom and sister.
Oh, okay. Well then, no. Yeah, if the other people are pulling in the name...
I guess so.
That's kind of how it works.
Yeah. So in 1902, there was actually a silent movie that came out of The Wizard of Oz first. So this, like, what we know today as The Wizard of Oz was not the first Wizard of Oz. And there was also another one in 1910. And then a third one that featured Scarecrow as the main character in 1925. All of these were flops. Mm-hmm. They just, like, they did not do well. And it's kind of amazing that this, like, the one that we know and love also didn't do very well.
It didn't do well?
It barely broke even at the box office.
Why?
Because they spent so much money making it. And also, it came out the same year as Gone with the Wind.
Oh.
So it had that competition. And it was known as a kids' movie. So people weren't going to spend a lot of money during the Depression to see a kids' movie. So it didn't earn very many awards. I think like one of the big awards that it got was like Best Song for Somewhere of the Rainbow.
Huh. I feel like it was very well done, especially for that time.
I agree.
Like the special effects. I mean, I guess even though people like burned and got pieces of wood shoved in their leg, but I mean, it looked good on screen. The monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. It's very visually pleasing.
I agree. I never watched Gone with the Wind. Have you?
I have once, maybe. It's really, really long.
Yeah, I can't do long movies.
I can't do a normal timed movie.
I can barely watch a full TV show. Okay, here's another thing. So there's always been this rumor that in one of the scenes you can see what looks like... Oh, go ahead. I think you know it.
A dead Munchkin.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging from a tree.
Right.
Yeah. How do I know that?
I knew it too. I had heard it. It's not true. It's one of the just like rumors that's been going around forever because there's a scene where you can see the shadow of what looks like a person hanging. It's actually a live bird because they wanted to create this like really like visually
realistic.
They went over the top with everything.
Oh, sure.
And they had these exotic birds, and it's kind of like a stork sort of bird that's in the background, and it's like has its wings expanded.
Okay.
And the shadow looks like a silhouette of somebody hanging.
Oh, weird.
At least that's what they say.
Did you go back and look at it?
No, we should put that on the Instagram post.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I'd like to go see that too.
Yeah, because I know I've looked at it before, but I don't really remember what it looked like. However, one of the cast members later on did take her own life. Do you know about this?
No, and this, I don't mean this to be like heartless, but I'm kind of not surprised with a cast as large as that cast was. I mean, do you have that statistic of how many people were actually in that movie?
No.
I mean, it's got to be thousands.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm like remembering wrong.
Well, there's like the main cast members.
Sure. And
then you have to take into consideration that like a lot of them played more than one part.
Oh.
Because like how the people she's talking to back in Kansas.
Yeah, are
you
actually
were there, and you were there,
the
and
character.
you were there. Yeah,
But they have all the Munchkins. They have the flying monkeys. They have all the people that like when they get to Oz.
Yeah,
Like all of those people that make them all pretty and stuff.
yeah. Well, this is one of the big ones.
Okay. No, I don't know.
This is Aunt M.
Oh, sad.
It is really sad. The actress Clara Blandick, she was suffering from like a terminal illness. It was just really deteriorating her, and she was in a lot of pain. So she actually staged her bedroom with all of her awards and accolades and everything. She put on her most beautiful evening gown.
Aww.
And she wrote a note before she took sleeping pills. And that note says, I have it here, I am now about to make the great adventure. I cannot endure this agonizing pain any longer. It is all over my body. Neither can I face the impending blindness. I pray the Lord my soul to take. Amen.
That's really sad.
It was really sad. But I'm glad that like she found peace from her suffering. A few more little facts before we wrap it up. A set designer took the ruby slippers for free,
Like
after they wrapped.
Like stole them?
I don't think so, because it sounds like they were just like, hey, I'm going to take these. Is that cool? Or I don't know if they were responsible for making those props.
So
And they were just...
Where are they now?
I think they still own them, or the family still owns them.
Wow.
And the article that I read said that they were valued at $1.5 million now. I think it's more than that.
What did you say?
$3 million for the lion costume. Yeah.
I feel like the shoes are like those are on like the poster.
Yeah, that's like that is the key symbol of the movie for sure.
I did hear, I don't know how many years ago, that the last living Munchkin had passed away.
Yes. Yeah. And the last living Munchkin, I read a little interview that he did, and he said he had an amazing experience with Judy Garland, and everybody was like super nice and friendly, and she like bought all of the Munchkins like a box of chocolates and a thank you note after they wrapped. So his story is a little bit different than some of the others that were like drunk and crazy. So I don't know. I like to think that they had a good time.
I would have partied with Munchkins.
For sure. Going back to the cast and like how many people there were, the actor Frank Morgan, who was the Wizard of Oz, played 5 different roles in that movie.
Oh, really?
So not only was he the all-powerful Oz, he also played the fortune-telling professor.
Oh, yes. Okay.
He was the cabbie who drove the horse of a different color carriage.
Oh.
The guard at the wizard's palace.
Oh, really?
And the doorkeeper.
Who's the doorkeeper?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember a lot of those parts.
I remember the other ones. I don't remember the doorkeeper. That's cool.
So that's my story.
I still love it.
I do too.
I still love that.
I
movie.
really do. The cannibal horses just make it more creepy. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much of a ripple other than like the sad ending of Judy Garland's life, that unfortunately she was put through so much.
Yeah, it sounds like she just wasn't treated well.
No,
at all.
It's a bummer. But that's show business.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want a last thought and a shot?
Sure.
Okay. So do you think that they should try to redo another Wizard of Oz?
No.
Don't mess with a
Don't
classic.
mess with it. No, we saw what happened with the Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. That was horrible.
It was really bad. We were so excited for it too.
And Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. We went to the midnight showing.
We did it dressed up.
We were so sad.
Yeah, it was a total letdown. And they've tried to kind of like do remakes or continuations or whatever of the Wizard of Oz with the Wiz that had like a ton of A-lister celebrities in it, like Michael Jackson, Diana Ross.
I forgot that was even a thing.
And it just flopped.
Well, you know what they say about like when you have too many stars in a movie?
They overshadow each other.
Or I don't know. It's just not good.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a remake of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it actually, it was in February of 2021 that they released the Nicole Castle
I don't know who that is.
Cassell. I guess she did the TV show The Watchmen. I've never seen it. Don't know.
It's super popular, though.
Yeah, it's supposedly really good. She's going to oversee the remake of it. And she says that she, wants to kind of update it
No.
to kind of bring it more.
If they try to make a woke Wizard of Oz.
I don't know. I don't know what she has planned. And then one person was saying, like, it doesn't matter what you do, even if you do it, like, scene by scene, exactly the way it was. Our generational, whatever, 2021, it's kind of hokey. Like, if you look at it now, it's like some little girl that wants to go home and some witch is trying to get her shoes. But it's so, like, wholesome because that's what we grew up with.
Yeah. And I just think, too, like, if you look back, okay, yes, it was digitally remastered. And I think that's, like, the extent of improving upon it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it was pretty advanced. And even it still holds up.
Totally.
Like, the quality, the special effects.
Yeah, you watch some of those, like, 80s or 90s movies, and you're like, oh, my gosh. Like, this is what I was, like, enjoying. It's like a joke to watch it now.
Right, yeah.
Where The Wizard of Oz is, like, you're still, like, blown away by, like, the magic of it.
Right. I agree. Yeah, don't mess with it. I think it's a bad idea.
Well, it's happening, apparently. Ugh. I don't know. I don't think they have a release date. I don't think they have, or they haven't released at least names of who's playing what parts that I could see. But it's happening.
I wonder if they're going to make it darker, like more like the book.
I think they have to
keep people's interest.
I think they have to.
Yeah.
It's too happy and lovey and kind of a movie.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not too hopeful about it.
I mean, I'll watch it.
I probably will too. But
it's going to be the Judy Garland movie for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so it's my turn next week.
Yes.
And
we lost track of topics, so you get to pick from all of them.
And I kind of think we are starting over because I did folklore, and that was like one of the last because we had just added it in.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh. Okay, well, let me pick mine.
Okay. Are you doing state first or location first?
I'm going to do location.
Okay.
I've got West Virginia.
You can watch The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never watched The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia?
That's a lot of W's.
Oh, my God. Are you in for a treat?
I don't know that. It's on like TLC or something?
No, it was one of the guys from Jackass did a documentary on...
Oh, it's a documentary. It's a real show.
Yes, it's so good. Oh, my God. Okay.
All right, while you pull that up, I'm going to pick my topic. Okay, we're starting over with medical oddities / discoveries.
Well, you picked the place for it.
West Virginia. I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about West Virginia.
Okay. You ready for your song?
Ready. Am I going to... This is the wonderful world of...
Wonderful Whites of West Virginia?
Yeah. I kind of like them. I think they're rad.
You won't say that if you watch the whole documentary.
They sound fun. Oh.
That's really great. You need to find it on one of the streaming networks. I used to be on Netflix. I don't think it's there anymore. But yeah, it's great.
Okay. I'm going to look for it.
Okay.
All right, so next week we're going to hear about West Virginia.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yay. Okay, until then, don't forget to be a fountain.
And not a drain.
Bye.
Bye.